The grizzly bear is definitely one of the most intimidating and powerful animals in the animal kingdom. And we all saw what one did to Leo. But it's not actually unbeatable. And today, we're going to take a look at 10 animals who can kill a grizzly bear. Now, it really should be no surprise that elephants, the largest living land animals, can take down a grizzly bear. Just because of their sheer size, elephants have no real predators. It's only the youngest or the sickest elephants that need the herd for protection. And even then, most predators aren't going to try and take on an elephant. There have been countless reported instances of lions trying to mess with an elephant, and it usually always ends with an injured lion running away for its life. It really will be no different for grizzly. Elephants are just way too big and way too much for the grizzly to even try and make it a fight. Not to mention, a bull elephant can be surprisingly aggressive, and well, it's all over. It's hard to believe, but a lion or a crocodile aren't the most dangerous animals in Africa. That honor falls on none other than the hippopotamus, one of the only animals that actively attacks humans. And with those massive tusks and raw power, they can cut people clean in half. Hippos are considered the most aggressive animal in Africa. And it's not just that hippos are aggressive, but they're aggressive enough to take the fight to you. They're known to attack predators in their territory, whether the predator is hunting or not. The hippo has one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom, really only behind the biggest species of crocodiles. And that bite force is 3 times more than a lion's, and it's more than a grizzly's too. Not even to mention that a hippo weighs 10 times as much as the bear, and has such thick skin that a grizzly might not even be able to scratch the surface. Now, this one is a little bit of a cop-out because both grizzlies and Kodiak bears are subspecies of the brown bear and are basically cousins. But still, 2 different animals, and the Kodiak bear can definitely take down a grizzly in a fight. For starters, Kodiak bears are just bigger and heavier. They're the second largest bear in the world, only behind the polar bear. And just that size difference alone is enough to give the Kodiak bear the edge here. Now, the walrus is typically prey to bears, namely the polar bear, but prey can definitely dominate predator every now and then. I mean, even polar bears really only face off against walruses as a last resort. They tend to target either the old, the young, or the sick, and polar bears are bigger and meaner than grizzlies. Walruses can weigh up to twice as much as a grizzly. Their teeth and claws likely won't even be able to penetrate through the skin, and those 3 feet tusks are deadly. You don't want to end up on the wrong side of them. I don't think the grizzly stands much of a chance. This is probably the first one where a grizzly bear would actually win the majority of the fights, but a Siberian tiger definitely has it in them to take down a grizzly bear. Yeah, these big cats are just that scary and that dangerous. The Siberian tiger weighs a bit less than a bear and doesn't have the same type of natural defense or raw brute strength, but they are much more agile, incredibly ferocious, and the ultimate apex ambush predator. They're one of the world's best hunters, and one wrong move by the bear or the perfect ambush opportunity for the tiger, well, it could be all over. Now, crocodiles are the second largest reptiles in the world, beaten out only by saltwater crocs down in Australia. And they are apex predators in Africa. No animal actively hunts Nile crocs for food, because no animal is stupid enough to take this thing on. With the fact that weigh up to 1,500 pounds, have a bite force of 5,000 psi, it's no surprise they could take on a grizzly. Then if you want to throw in the saltwater croc, well, they can weigh up to a ton and grow up to 20 feet long. They can deliver some insane crushing power. It's the equivalent of getting hit by a car, and it's the strongest bite force known in the animal kingdom. They definitely have the potential and ability to take down the bear. This is another example of a prey animal being able to beat a predator. Doesn't happen every time, but it does happen. And if any animal is gonna do it, well then it's gonna be a moose. I mean, for starters, you can't underestimate just how big a moose is. They're bigger than a grizzly. They are just massive. They're very powerful and have a perfect shield with those antlers. It would take a lucky blow because the moose's antlers aren't really ideal for actually injuring a grizzly, but this fight will be an absolute doozy, and you can't underestimate the moose in it. Rhinos are definitely a little lazy, but there's a reason why they have no natural predators, not even lions, and everyone avoids them when they come around. See, rhinos are incredibly territorial. While most animals will avoid conflict with a lion, rhinos will actually seek them out if the lion enters its territory. That's the type of animal that a grizzly will be fighting here. And considering that a rhino can weigh several times more than a grizzly, well, it's not really hard to imagine what's going to happen when one starts charging. It's not pretty. Rhinos are basically nature's tanks. They're super tough and super heavy and super powerful. Really only elephants can square off against these things, and a grizzly is just gonna be outmatched. The Cape buffalo kinda gets forgotten when you're talking about Africa's Big Five, but it's a force to be reckoned with. It's big, and it's strong, and it's mean. There's a reason why lions and other predators only approach buffalo while they're in packs. Buffalo are incredibly aggressive, killing more big game hunters than any other animal in Africa. They're actually in the same relative weight class as the rhino. Now, grizzlies have been seen taking down bison in North America, but the Cape buffalo is just a different beast. Heavier, bigger, infinitely more aggressive, and those horns are no joke. They're able to gore and kill lions with ease, and a grizzly might not fare much better. Then last but not least, well, it's the polar bear. Mostly because polar bears are even bigger and more dangerous than a grizzly. In fact, polar bears are so aggressive that it's actually illegal to go outside in some places in Alaska without a gun because of polar bear attacks. It's best if the grizzly just tries to run away from this one.